Hello and welcome to In the Community on Dexter Media, featuring the folks that are making news right here in our community with the great news going on in Reidsville and baseball. We're talking Reidsville Luckies baseball with Old North State League officials Alec and Lexie Allred, as well as Assistant City Manager Haywood Cloud, coming up here in just a bit. Reidsville Luckies baseball 65 years ago, just over 65 years ago, played their last game of professional baseball in 1955, and they are coming back in the summer of 2021. Let's take a look at some of this big news, man. I love to see this. Reidsville Mayor Jay Doniker is excited too. The partnership we are developing with the Old North State League is just another example of the city of Reidsville looking to the future, Doniker said. Baseball is not only a part of our history, but also an American pastime. We've been expanding our youth sports programs to encompass more baseball, which we have done with the youth team to the Luckies. The next obvious step was college ball, and quality of life is very important to the city. It's one of the reasons people stay here and new people relocate here. This is a home run, and we look forward for it for many years to come. The new manager of the Reidsville Luckies is Richie Pegram, who's been a big part of that Luckies batting academy and the youth program here in Reidsville. He said earlier, "I'm looking forward to a successful first season with the Luckies. Reidsville is known for its long-standing baseball tradition dating back to the Luckies pro teams from the 30s to the 60s. Our goal will be to bring Reidsville's first ONSL title in 2021. Lofty goals for a long historic team in Reidsville, now rejoining through the Old North State League and college wood bat baseball. This team history starts back in competitive bi-state league play from 1935 to 1940. The Luckies returned in 1947 after World War II as part of the Tri-State League, and then switched to the Carolina League in 1948 and competed in the Carolina League through the 1955 season. Also, they were Brooklyn Dodgers affiliates in 1937 and 1939. The Dodgers played a huge part in baseball's minor league system in building it into what it became throughout the 90s and into the 2000s and at its peak. And now we're seeing a little bit of a drop in minor league affiliation, but the Dodgers were known to have several affiliates. So to see the Luckies with the name Brooklyn Dodgers is quite a feat. The Luckies name saw a resurgence with the development of the Reidsville Luckies Batting Academy and youth programs. In 2018, the program's 8U team was named the number one team in the nation by the USSSA among 785 teams. The 10U team in 2018 and under also secured the Super State AAU Championship, a World Series berth, and a World Series title. Let's take a look at the Old North State League. Established in 2018, the league is the newest summer collegiate baseball league in North Carolina. It's truly a league for players, a league that can help each player develop and showcase their abilities in front of scouts throughout the summer months, while also giving them the opportunity to enjoy the summer in the great state of North Carolina as the league continues to expand. Great news coming soon as well on expansion. And right here, they'll be playing in the summer of 2021 at JC Park. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to bringing on Assistant City Manager Haywood Cloud, talk about it of the city of Reidsville, as well as Old North State League officials Alec and Lexie Allred in just a second. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
All right, how you doing?
Good. Glad to have you guys on to discuss Old North State League baseball. We've got Alec and Lexie Allred of the Old North State League. We've got Haywood Cloud, the Assistant City Manager. Guys, let's start with this announcement. We'll start with you, Haywood. What's this mean for the city of Reidsville?
Oh, we think we're so excited. We think welcoming Old North State to the city of Reidsville provide a unique opportunity to improve the quality of life for our citizens. Just imagine how much fun it's going to be for Reidsville families and other surrounding communities to take a chance. To have the chance to take in an evening ball game while fellowshipping with other residents. You talk about the local economy boost with fans visiting, staying in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, shopping at our stores. We like to say heads in beds and tails in seats. And so we're just excited about the Old North State League and the Reidsville Luckies coming.
Alec, talk to us about how this came about. I know you're a former RCC baseball player, and tell us about your passion to bring Old North here to Reidsville.
Yeah. So I played at Rockingham Community College in 2016. Not 2015. And it's always been a good baseball community. We were pretty good, and RCC continues to get better over the last couple of years, going to several World Series. I always thought, even back then, that Reidsville would be a perfect place for a college summer league. Obviously, at that point, the old North State League didn't exist. So in 2018, after I signed to play professional baseball, me and my dad and some friends and Lexie, we kind of came up with the idea of the old North State League, a player-centered league, so that guys would have the opportunity to develop, play in front of scouts, but also to have the summer, to have days off during the summer to be able to go enjoy the great state of North Carolina. So as it started, the old North State League started with just 2 host cities basically, and there was 4 teams out of each city. And last year we really expanded into 8 different areas. This year it's looking like it'll be between 10 and 12 possibly. And so Reidsville, when we decided to expand, was the first place that I thought we needed to get into, just because of the rich baseball tradition and the amount of good quality ball players that come out of that area.
How important is it for college players to have this opportunity in our region? This is a great area for baseball. We have RCC back-to-back World Series appearances before the coronavirus, and just good high school players as well. How important is it to give them an opportunity in this part of North Carolina?
It's really, really important from a couple different angles. Obviously, for guys who want to play professional baseball, it'll be the only opportunity for the most part that scouts can be able to see you swing a wood bat. There was some very high-end talent. There was some very, very good players this past year. Guys that will definitely get drafted and play professional baseball. And so this gives them an opportunity. College wood bat is an opportunity for scouts to see how players react to swinging a wood bat, basically, and just an extended season to see how they're going to compete over a longer season. The one thing that we've tried to really do is we want our teams to be spread out and pull a lot of the local players into those teams. We feel like it brings more fans to the games. It also kind of solves the issue of dealing with host families, especially now with COVID-19. So we like for most of our rosters to be made up of local players. And with that being said, we've kind of, in my opinion, we've tapped out in certain markets, and we haven't tapped in certain markets. And Reidsville, with as many college baseball players and good high school baseball players that are coming up through, as well as Southern Virginia and the Danville areas, there's a ton of ball players that we didn't really pull from in the past that we really wanted to start pulling from now.
Haywood, you're a former athlete and you've played at a high level. What does it mean for you as a city official to be able to bring this to the city and see those expansions at JC Park that are going to be worked on?
Well, I think it's no secret for staff here, my love of sports, which is why, with Parks and Rec being one of my the areas that I oversee, I've been excited about everything we're doing on the Parks and Rec side. But again, having played in college and knowing, the importance of sports and working as a team to accomplish goals is a very, very important thing. And I think it's just exciting. We're just excited about this opportunity to have those kids, those young people come to the city. Again, the overall economic impact cannot be measured, but you have to think about it. There are a lot of kids, a lot of young men, they're going to be coming here playing, which also gives them an opportunity to look at the city to see, who knows, they may want to move here someday. And so we're excited about that part of it.
Alec, tell us a little bit about Coach Richie Pegram and why he was the decision as the manager.
Well, Richie's son actually played the very first year of the league. And so I talked to Mr. Strader and Mr. Pegram pretty frequently. We like to get our coaches kind of the same way we like to get our players. We want them to be local guys that are invested in the community. They'll be invested in the area as opposed to, maybe a coach from another state or another area that doesn't have that necessarily that passion for that exact place that they're in. So Richie's been great so far. He's getting the roster together now. There's definitely a lot of local guys that'll be on the squad this year. But we're really excited to have him on board.
Also, just from the fan perspective, and you mentioned this a little bit, Haywood, it's great to have that option in the summer to head down to J.C. Park, which is already busy. I walk J.C. Park every single day. There's people there all the time. But to add that excitement of having live baseball in the summer, it definitely adds another flair to Reidsville and what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. I think there's no secret that on the football side that Reidsville has been tabbed as the football capital of North Carolina because of the number of the Reidsville High School state football championships. But again, as you alluded to earlier in your opening, there's a rich history of baseball here too. And so, again, everyone's excited. There's going to be a lot of kids coming to town and just having a good time playing baseball.
Alec, what are some of the goals of the Old North State League? I know as a baseball fan, there are leagues like the Cape Cod League that at some point in time became one of the major scouted summer league wood bat leagues. Are you guys aiming to bring that presence for players so that they can be seen?
Yeah, that's the biggest goal. I mean, is to be able to push guys on to professional baseball. Basically what I was a small college player that had an opportunity to play professional baseball. So we kind of designed the league so that it wasn't necessarily for, your biggest schools. And they gave just good ball players at every level an opportunity to play in a bigger league, an opportunity to play in nicer stadiums and things like that. That a lot of times, your smaller college guys, they might get an opportunity to play in the Cape or in the Coastal Plains League or the Northwoods League. Those are the bigger leagues across the country, and they go after the biggest schools. That's what gets them fans in the seats, having guys from Kentucky or North Carolina on their team. We took a different approach. We wanted to get the local guys, the best local players on the teams, and regardless if that's a junior college player, if it's a Division I player, it's not really the level that we care about. It's the player's ability and that they're from that area. And so, yeah, I mean, it's everybody for the most part. The one thing that we say is we're baseball guys. I'm a baseball guy. I'm a baseball player. A lot of the guys involved are baseball guys. We're not necessarily businessmen. So we designed this whole league for baseball players and for the guys. And that's what we want to do. We want to try to help the guys the best that we can to achieve their dreams of playing professional baseball.
Haywood, could you walk us through some of those expansion talks at J.C. Park? I had heard maybe some fancy things that we might be in store for there.
So initially, the fields that we have currently, again, because we're local government, are geared for youth baseball. We put up temporary fencing and adult softball. But bringing on the Old North State League, right now we will be relocating the fence line, the lighting, from 300 feet in left field to 330, 380 in center, and we're working on right now our version of a 20-foot monster wall, kind of like the Green Monster for the Boston Red Sox. But we've been kind of going back and forth about a wall and a fence, depending on what we can come up with, which will be, I think, around 350. So it's going to be fun watching those young men trying to hit those home runs over that wall. The other thing we're doing will be installing a PA system. We'll have additional bleachers that will wrap around the backstop. So that'll be something different. And then we'll, of course, as we extend the fence line in the outfield, there'll be some asphalt removal, repaving, and restriping for accommodating parking. But I think And the other thing that's going to be great is, again, this won't stop our normal activity with our youth. So, of course, none of them will be able to knock it out of the park, but to just have them on a, on a field and to come and see guys who are playing in college, I think it's going to be a big deal for those, for some of those kids, for those kids in our youth leagues.
It's also just having an opportunity, right? For example, Reidsville has youth football. They have football at the middle school, high school level, and they continuously have that opportunity to get better. Just adding that additional possibility for good players to be able to play in college and continue to get better at that high school age going into, or that college age going into potentially a professional experience is just key for the city. I think that's just a beautiful thing to add.
Absolutely. Again, as I said earlier about the football piece, there are football players around here that are developed daily, and so to now have this other piece to develop in the baseball side of it, I think we could possibly be in line to be to take in the baseball portion of what we're doing to the level that we have in football, and again, we're excited about it.
Alec, I got to say, the names that you have for these teams, the uniforms that you have for these teams, you guys are, I saw this summer you were live streaming games and trying to bring them to people with the coronavirus going on. You guys are trying to reach people and also bring the best experience for these players. Talk a little bit about the branding that you guys have done.
I'm gonna give it to my wife for this one. This is her avenue.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Yeah, I take care of most of the branding for the team. I mean, a lot of times it's a group effort. Me and Alec will kind of sit down and talk about where we want to go. Try to do a little bit something different for every area. But I basically just try to look at the area that the teams are coming to and dive into their history a little bit and try to see if we can come up with something. Of course, Reidsville was like a gold mine because of their extensive baseball history. So, and you look at an overview of the town, and you immediately see the Lucky Strike Tower. So I was like, oh my gosh, we have to do something with that. And so we went with the traditional colors. And yeah, I do that for every area. I just look at the history. I try to come up with something cool, something that I know people might want to wear on a hat or something like that. And yeah, we try to live stream all the games. We try to get as much exposure as we can with every single game. And that's something we're going to try to continue to do and only do better as the season goes on. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do. That's kind of my process.
So I got to ask right away, where do I get a Reidsville Luckies hat? I need one of those.
Yeah, so I guess details are kind of still being worked out for how we're going to do that next season because, we try to improve every year. But we should have them available on the website, I would say, pretty soon, hopefully as soon as possible. So we'll keep y'all updated on that.
Haywood Cloud is with us, the Assistant City Manager of Reidsville, as well as Alec and Lexie Allred, Old North State League officials. Guys, I want to thank you for taking the time on In the Community to talk about this great announcement, the Reidsville Luckies returning to Reidsville in the summer of 2021. Guys, thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much for having us.